5 types of redirection exist in Next.js. I'll try to explain all of them. The first one is the redirect function itself, where you can call it on a page or in a server action. Server action I will explain in the future, but the idea behind it is to transfer the user's request to another route or another URL. The permanent redirect also is a function similar to redirect, but it transfers the user's request to another URL with another status code. This one is similar to sending a 302 status code to the clients, but this one is similar to 303. But here in the Next.js, they are sending 307 and 308 instead. And the difference is that it is kind of an advanced version of 302, because by using 307, we can also retain the HTTP method. So for example, if I try to get the shop page and I get 302 and it tries to transfer me to web shop instead, in this case 302 will send you to the web shop with get method. Even if you post something to shop, 302 will still use the get method to redirect you to the web shop, to the new URL. But 307 acts differently. If I redirect a user from shop, which is post or patch or whatever, it doesn't matter. If I send the status code to 307 with a redirection, it will retain the method like post, or if you have delete or patch, it will keep the method and redirect the users. And the same situation here we have. The next one is useRouter. We have covered it before. It is a client-side function that you can use only on the client components. And the idea is to soft navigate the users from a page to another page to keep and maintain the SPA behavior. Next one is by configuring the next config file, where you can put all the redirections that you desire in the next config. And the last one is NextResponse.redirect, very similar to redirect, but it's usually used in the middlewares, whereas we use redirect for server components like page. So I know we haven't talked about middlewares and what they do, how we can have them, but for now, just imagine that the NextResponse.redirect is handy for middlewares. Now I will show examples by using each one of these one by one. Okay, now I'm on the cart page. I refresh, I get the cart. Now if I call the redirect function, let's try it, and I have to import it from next navigation, and then I want to redirect the users to login like this. But if there's no authentication, so I know we don't have authentication in our project, but imagine I use a constant or a variable here. Const is authenticated equal false, and if it's not authenticated, then redirect them to login like this. So in this case, they are not authenticated. We have to redirect the users to login page. Let's try it. So I jump into the cart, and you can see it has redirected me to login page, to the login page. And since we don't have login page, I get 404. That's fine. And also we can take a look into the network tab. If I try to go to shop, then the cart, you can see the first request, which is the request for the document. I get 307 status code, and it's redirecting me to the login page. The redirect also has a second parameter here, where you can choose whether you want to replace or push into the browser history. So I can pass a type that comes from the redirect type enum. I choose redirect type, that push or replace. So by default it's push, but if I change it to replace, let's try. First I go to home page. Now I'm currently on the home page. If I go to the cart, I will be redirected to the login, yes. But since we have replaced, we don't want this navigation to happen, to be visible in the histories. Let's try first. You can see I moved to cart, and it redirected me to the login. So if I open the browser history, you can see the previous page was home. But if I change it to push, and if I go to home and cart again, you can see the cart now is in the browser history here. So that was it from the redirect, and next one is permanent redirect. And the difference with the redirect itself is that whenever you permanently redirect a request to another URL, first of all, it's going to send 308 to the clients. And second of all, the browser will retain that redirection for the future. And after that, it never tries to even get the cart. The browser will automatically transfer you to the login instead. And this is how permanent redirect works, and it's different with redirect. And also, it's good to know that similar to redirect, the second parameter also has the redirection type, which is push or replace. The next one is useRouter hook, and we have already covered and explained this, how it works in the earlier videos in this course. And the idea behind it is to soft navigate the users from a page to another page without having a full reload or full page load. And then now it's time to explain how we can configure the redirections in the Next.js config. And so we have this next.config.ts. You might have JS, it's fine also. And if I take a look into its properties, it has something called redirects, this one. And it should be of type an async function. I can put async redirects and then a body for this function. What I have to return is an array of this type. Oh, let's try. And this one also. Okay, now it has source, destination, if it's permanent or not. I put false for now. But what I want to do is to redirect shop to login. And I can get rid of this now. And also this one. So if I run the project again, npm run dev, it's ready. So let's head into the cart, shop/cart. And now, as you can see, I'm redirected to login page. But again, I'm getting 404. That's fine because I don't have login, but the redirection happened. And the last one is by using middlewares. Let's get rid of these codes. What I have to do is to create a middleware file, the ts here. And what middleware does is when you get a request from the clients, maybe they are requesting for a resource like a web page or a static file. Imagine they are asking for homepage. Then middleware, our middleware, which is a simple function, will get the request, if you have it, of course, and will send the request to the proper page that is requested. For instance, in this case, homepage. You can write custom logics in this function, in this middleware file, and change this behavior. So if they are asking for homepage, I can transfer them to another page. In my case that I'm going to explain, I want to redirect all the requests from shop/cart to login, like this. And what we can do in this case, we can first of all implement and populate this file. It simply has export const middleware, and it accepts a request. It should be like this. And the type of request comes from next request, like this. And what we have to do is we have to simply call the NextResponse.next function. And this next response should be imported. This is the basic and default behavior of a middleware. I have a typo here, middle. You can change the logic by checking the request, what they are asking, and then decide what you want to do. Of course, you can have different behaviors and different logics in the middleware. One can be checking the authentication. The other one can be doing the redirection, what we are going to do now, and a lot of more topics that you can have. So let me write the redirection code. I check if the request consists of shop/cart. I will call the NextResponse.redirect, the subject of what we are talking now. So I will try to run it to refresh the page. I go to shop/cart. And as you can see, it's giving me an error because the URL that I'm passing is not of type URL. It's accepting an absolute URL. What we have to do is by calling like localhost or something like this. I can say localhost. I can just grab this and put login. But there's another way I will explain. You see, it's working fine now. I'm asking for cart and it is redirecting me to the login page. And it executes before the page. The first place that users will get and we have access is middlewares. What I can do for this to replace this, because you might have different domains, of course, is by by creating an instance, a new instance of URL, new URL. Then I can pass the first parameter as login and then the rest of the URL. In our case, it is localhost 3000, then it will attach /login to this URL. So let's try. It should give me the same response. If I go to the cart, you can see I get 404 now. That was it from redirecting using middlewares. Also, there are other subjects and topics in here. For example, if you have a lot of rules for redirecting users, You can put them in a database or a JSON file, and you can import them and catch them here. It is the best place to do those kind of batch redirections, and it's recommended by Next.js as well. So I hope you get the idea of all kind of redirections you can have and how you can use them effectively.